Hey everybody, it's Trevor with Social Dilemma. It is February the 13th, 2022. So, what has been going on in the world for the past 3 weeks? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, it's the Freedom Convoy 2022 that's been happening here in Canada, primarily in Ottawa. But the Freedom Convoys have broke out across Canada, places like Windsor, Ontario, the border of Windsor and Detroit, the Ambassador Bridge, Coutts, Alberta, on the border of Alberta and Montana, Winnipeg, Vancouver, all over the place, just all over the place. People they're protesting, and so far been very peaceful on the protesters' part. So where are we at? Where are we at with this? My thoughts on this. We're 3 weeks in, and what I kind of wanted to talk about was not just people in Canada. Obviously, Canadians are rising up. I'm a Canadian. I live in Canada, and it took the truckers to rise up to say, "Hey, enough is enough." Okay, you can't mandate freedom, and you just can't. So where I'm standing with this, I feel like people in the world in general are at a crossroads, and where I'm thinking, I'm trying to think of some numbers and whatnot. And I kind of look at, okay, people in general. If you looked at it percentage wise, I think that 10% of people around the world, at least, want freedom. They just want to live a voluntary life. And then on the other end of the scale, you have 10% of people who want mandates, and they want to use government as a tool to enforce whatever they want on the rest of humanity. That's wrong. And this is where I feel like we're at a crossroads. When I watch videos and I talk to people, and then in the middle you've got like the people, like 80% of people who are just, they're at a crossroads and they have no idea where to go. Do they go, hey, we need to support the individual to have freedom? I mean, just a voluntary life. If you aren't violating the non-aggression principle, you aren't committing a crime against humanity, let people live. So I feel like we have 10% of humanity that understand that. And then there's 10% of humanity that understand that, but absolutely don't want that. And they're using fear to get the rest of the people in the middle to comply with them. And I really feel like we're at a crossroads with at least, maybe around 80% of the world's population are sitting here going, what do we do? Everybody want to live free and let people, mind your own business. But the fear mongers on the other end, they're doing a hell of a job now that we're in year 3 of the lockdowns, the masks, the jabs. It is absolutely horrendous. And I'm on the end of the scale with the truckers and anybody who is saying, look, you can't have mandates on people like this. Okay, if you want to wear a mask, go ahead, wear a mask. If you want to get a vaccination, go ahead and get a vaccination. If you decide not to, that should not impede on your ability to earn a living or to become a truck driver. In fact, myself personally, I've always wanted to be a truck driver. I'm 49, so I grew up as a kid watching great television and great movies with truckers in it, and I always wanted to be a trucker. It just didn't pan out. But the last few weeks, I'm thinking, I'm watching more videos on trucking, and it has sparked something in me again, and I would love to become a trucker. But then, you look at the rules and the regulations. There's no way I could be one because I don't wear a mask, and I haven't got the COVID vaccination yet, okay? I'm 49. I don't know. I don't feel like after we're in year 3 and it's been 2 years, I just don't feel necessary for me personally to do that. But hey, if I wanted to be a trucker, there's no way I could do it. I couldn't make enough money just driving in Canada. And if you're driving just in Canada, okay, maybe you could make enough money. But then truckers who don't want to get a medical procedure. I mean, you're hearing stories of manufacturers and people working on the docks that they're picking up won't allow them into their building. Well, that doesn't do a trucker any good. And so here we are. We're at a crossroads in the world. And I do feel it's about 10% on the side of voluntary living. And then you have 10% of the population that want forced living. And then again, we have in the middle about, like 80% of people around the world are really sitting here going, what do we do? What do we do? Nobody wants this. Nobody wants like the Spanish flu level things, but they happen. And we have to deal with it. But you have to do it in a way that allows people to still live. I mean, this whole economic shutdown for the past 2 years has created a lot of damage into people's lives. So where do we go from here? I just wanted to point that out today. I really do feel humanity is at an absolute crossroads with what has been going on for the past 2 years. And where it's going to land, it's going to happen in the next few months. People are protesting, but where do the protests go? Nobody wants a violent outcome. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it. I think it's good to protest, but you don't want violence. But what happens when it might happen? Maybe police get tired of this and they're forced by the politicians to go shut down people protesting at, say, the Ambassador Bridge in Windsor or in Ottawa or Winnipeg or Vancouver, wherever. Then that becomes a violent confrontation. What happens there? I mean, holy smokes. I mean, I could just see the Prime Minister here in Canada, Justin Trudeau, following in Pierre Trudeau's footsteps of declaring martial law. I mean, this just gets way out of control. And I don't see Justin Trudeau as making any efforts to talk to anybody about this. And how come in the last 2 years, okay, if Justin Trudeau, people, if you want to vote, you voted him in, you got to take what he gives you then, maybe, or not. Or no, that's when you have the chance to tell government no. But how come people who aren't elected, these medical people, unelected bureaucrats, telling us how to live? That isn't right at all. That's not how it's done. So where, I don't know, I just wanted to point that out today. And I think a lot of people are feeling the same way I am and thinking, going, hey, we're at a crossroads. Again, you got two groups on either end, one wanting to live free and one wanting to live under force. And people in the middle going, what do we do? Because obviously nobody wants a Spanish flu pandemic anymore. But sometimes these things happen. But how do, let's deal with it in a way that doesn't impede on anyone's life. And, to speak about, minorities, the individuals, the smallest minority on the face of the earth. And to not allow the individual to live is absolutely against, life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness. And I'm finding it too. Again, I've had a sparked interest again in trucking. Going over videos, I'm like, man, this is a beautiful life. This is exactly the life I think would work really good for me. But I can't because I don't wear masks and I haven't so far gotten a COVID vaccine. Because I don't feel the need for it. I guess I can't work. I can't open up a small business. What am I supposed to do? What do you do? What do you do? So here we are at a really huge crossroad. You got people around the world. I mean, the Canadian truckers have sparked that freedom flame in everyone's heart. And, governments are, some governments around the world, politicians are wising up and going, okay, maybe we should listen to people. But here in Canada, they're not so far. And the only thing I have seen from politicians here in Canada is tyranny, really. They're talking, truckers, you just stop it, you go back to work and do what we say. That's not how it's done. Okay, there's enough people out here that's just like, no, 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 no. And you just cannot, you can't mandate freedom. Okay, you can't. It's just like liberty and taxation. It doesn't go together. It's like nuts and gum. So you either have. So where is this going to go? That's my question to everyone, and I hope it goes the way of, hey, let's. I just want it to be voluntary, and that's the way it should have been from the get go. You want to wear a mask? Wear a mask. You want to get a vaccine? Get a vaccine. If you don't, look, if you're sick, stay home. It's really simple. But what's not simple is ruining people's lives for the ability not to work. Okay, and truckers are the backbone of society around the world. Okay, if you got it, a big truck brought it. Okay, remember that. So don't look down on people that deliver your goods, for goodness sake. This is a very it's a great industry, I think, to be in. But again, someone like myself can't join it right now. So, yeah. So hey, let's. I hope that people around the world, the 80%, the bulk of people around the world that are wondering, what do we do? I think they would like freedom, but hey, they're like, hey, the fear mongers on the other end are scaring that group into complying. And these people need to wake up to either, we either have to go down one path or the other. And at that crossroads, and sorry, just I think we're at a crossroads. There's just a little bit of loss of thought there. And what do people do? And I hope that people swing to the end of living a voluntary life. Please think about it. Think about what could happen if we do allow the governments around the world to continue with this tyrannical way of bullying people. And that's what it is. Government is completely bullying people into to doing what they want. And again, these people, some of them aren't even elected. These are people, the bureaucratic people telling us how to live. That's not right. So again, I think we're at a true crossroads. And I'm really interested to see what's going to happen over the next few months. How long can the truckers stay there before you're hearing stories of them being starved out with fuel and food. So where does this end? Where does this end? I hope it ends in the way of, hey, this is what people want. They want the government say, okay, fine, everything's just voluntary. Just put out some good information out there. I have not watched any videos with people like Theresa Tam here in Canada. She's the equivalent to Anthony Fauci. Come out with anything stating that, hey, maybe take your vitamins, eat better food. If you're sick, they say some silly things like, just, but they don't come. They're not coming out. There's nothing out there that's of any value, I think, other than getting the jab and wear a mask and use the hand sanitizer. So, here we are at a crossroads. It's February 13th, 2022, and we're 3 weeks into the Freedom Convoy, and so far it's at a crossroads. It's a real standstill. What are the politicians and their government employees who are carrying guns going to do? And what are the protesters going to do? Where are people's? There's got to be a breaking point. It's at a crossroads, and let's hope that it goes a peaceful way and everything is lifted here in Canada, so that people can get back to work and back to living their life, making some money, making people happy, and just being with their family and friends again. So that's where I want it to be. And I'm interested to see where it's going to be. And it's going to be interesting here, especially in Canada in the next few months. Especially we have Justin Trudeau's order in council for his gun confiscation, which is to take place here in Canada in the next few months. So that'll be something I'll make a video later on, and that's coming down the pipe in the next few months. So that should be interesting few months here living in Canada. So anyways, folks, I hope that you've enjoyed my ideas today and really thinking about people around the world, and we're at a crossroads. And please, I hope we make the decision to live the voluntary life over the forced life. And yeah, I hope that's where we go. So I hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe, and send me any questions that you have. And let's talk. Okay? All right, everybody. Take care, and see you in the next video.